Woman shot dead at St. Anne home after returning from church. A woman was shot dead at her home in Helicon District, St. Anne on Sunday. The deceased has been identified as laborer Nardia Benz, who is said to be in her 40s. Reports are that shortly after 2 p.m., Binns entered her one-room dwelling after returning from church when gunshots were heard. The police were alerted, and upon the arrival of the lawmen, Binns was observed lying in a pool of blood with gunshot wounds. Binns was taken to hospital where she was pronounced dead. It is understood that Binns was previously the victim of a stabbing incident. Investigations are ongoing. 8 Haitians in police custody. Reporters understand that 8 Haitians are believed to be among a group who landed illegally in the dead of the night Sunday, undetected, at a beach at Hector's River, Portland. They are now in police custody. The 8 Haitians were apprehended by the police, but details of their apprehension are unclear. It is understood that they were picked up at separate locations in the Hector's River by the police during a pre-dawn operation. They were transported to the Port Antonio Hospital for medical treatment and checks shortly after 9 a.m. on Monday. It is still unclear as to how many Haitians landed by boat and how many are still on the run. They came in a 20-foot boat, as was reported. Broken water main leads to accident. Traffic piled up along Coral Gardens Main Road. A broken water main along the Coral Gardens Main Road had left to escape the thousands of gallons of water on Monday morning. The break, which occurred about 4 a.m., saw nearby properties including a car mart becoming inundated with water throughout most of the morning and in the early afternoon. It is also been reported that the break continued to a 3-vehicle collision accident that occurred about 4:45 a.m. when the driver of 2 Toyota Vaxi motor car and a Toyota Crown were surprised by the water. The vehicles slammed into each other before coming to a stop a short distance beyond the ruptured roadway. One of the vehicles also crashed into a concrete utility pole, breaking it. In the aftermath, it was revealed that both Vaxi had single occupants who received minor injuries, but the driver of the Crown seemed most affected. They were all taken to hospital. Subsequent to that, teams from the National Water Commission were deployed to address the issue. A team from the Jamaica Public Service was also on the scene, effecting repairs to the broken utility pole. Crown grills 13-year-old in cruelty to child case. A 13-year-old girl who spent 3 days with a man in another parish before the police intervened during a traffic stop was on Monday grilled by the prosecution. The girl's mother is on trial for cruelty to a child. The juvenile testified that on December 23, 2023, she requested permission from her mother to attend Grand Market, an event in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland, with a 19-year-old male friend. The minor was the first witness to take the stand on Monday as the trial commenced with Judge Fairclough Hilton presiding, answering questions posed by the prosecution. The teen stated that she met the friend through her ex-boyfriend on social media and had their first face-to-face meeting in April. This was also the first time her mother had met him, she explained. The minor also stated that on the day in question, December 23rd, she went to her mother's workplace to wait for the 19-year-old male who later picked her up. She stated that they traveled to Westmoreland and that she stayed with him at his home in First before meeting up with the other man 2 days later. She recounted how this other man brought her to his home where they engaged in sexual activity before he allegedly provided her with a morning after pill contraceptive the next day. In response to additional questions, she stated that she was returning to Montego Bay with the second man and one of his friends on December 27, where they stopped by the police, who took them to the Savannah Lamar police station and contacted her mother, who later arrived at the station to pick her up. No other witnesses were called to the stand, and the trial was set to continue on Wednesday, May 22nd. The accused woman's bail was extended until that day. Justice Minister raises concern about inactive justices of the peace. While there are over 11,000 justices of the peace registered on the island, a large percentage of them are inactive. This is according to Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck. Mr. Chuck raised a concern while speaking at commissioning of 112 new GPs in St. Andrew at the weekend.
We now have over 11,000 GPs across Jamaica. But sadly, not many are really active. The vast majority of them, regrettably, having been commissioned, like you, have returned to their veranda, back into their cocoon, and not really interacting and be the light of their communities. A few JPs, for one reason or another, have been charging. Now, Justice of the Peace, your role is to help and to assist, especially the less fortunate in our society, the weak and vulnerable. It is for you to grow, to be big, and to help others, not for you to be seeking from others.
PM Holness says dual citizenship as a leader is untenable, inaccurable. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says there should be no question about the undivided loyalty of any individual who wants to be or is the ultimate leader of Jamaica, whether that person is Prime Minister or opposition leader. Holness was speaking on Monday morning during CVM at sunrise with Dennis Brooks and Yendi Phillips. He said the position of any individual who aspires to lead Jamaica but remains a dual citizen is both untenable and incurable. I believe that the Jamaican diaspora is much bigger than our Commonwealth, and that the Jamaican Commonwealth in our diaspora, wherever they are, and that we should allow persons with Jamaican citizens to be able to serve Jamaicans in our parliament or politically. So for me, it doesn't matter what other citizenship you have. Once you swear allegiance, being a Jamaican citizen to Jamaica, that would be my stated position. The other thing I would say is that to be the ultimate leader of a country, to be the ultimate executive leader of the country, you should have no other citizenship. There should be no question by your citizens that you lead, that you know that you have some way out to split loyalty, that you have another way out in case anything goes wrong, that you may not be subject to the full force of the laws of the country that you serve because you are a citizen of another country. You could always find a way out, Holness explained. He continued, and I think that it is important. I think in the minds of every Jamaican, the question would be, is the leader of your country fully, wholly and solely committed to your best interests? And there is no other loyalty or interest drawn on the decisions that they make? It is an untenable situation, and if you intend to become leader of the country, whether as Prime Minister or any sovereign leadership, leader of the opposition, to the head of parliament or whatever it is, you really should divest yourself of any other loyalty that you may have, Holness stated. The Prime Minister's comments come days after opposition leader Mark Gordon expressed his support to dual citizens being allowed to sit in the Houses of Parliament in Jamaica. In pushing for the Caribbean Court of Justice to be made Jamaica's final appellate court, Gordon also stated that it should not be a case where Jamaica has 1 foot in and 1 foot out of King Charles Yard. Those comments triggered several calls on social media for him to declare whether he's both a Jamaican and British citizen. He has since stated that he holds both Jamaican and British citizenship, the latter via descent from his father, who had migrated to Jamaica from the UK. He reportedly said he has not renounced his British citizenship because it was not legally necessary for him to do so. The Constitution of Jamaica does not forbid Jamaicans who are citizens of another Commonwealth country from sitting in Parliament. But for the Prime Minister, that is not enough. Holness clarified that while he is not against individuals with dual citizenship constituting the Parliament, he believes once the individual aspires to lead Parliament, for them to remain a dual citizen is not just untenable, but it is also incredible. For two things, we believe that we must find a way to include our diaspora, our Jamaicans. So once you are a Jamaican, you have Jamaican citizenship, we believe you should be entitled to enter our Parliament and serve. However, having entered the Parliament, if it is that you intend to become the ultimate decision maker, then you must divest yourself of any other loyalty, even if it is not required legally. I think anyone in that position would be untenable, and not just that, I think it would be incurable. In other words, having gone ahead to say I want to lead the country ultimately and not have taken this step before, You can't cure it afterwards because already the question is why didn't you do this before? Why did you carry us along and not declare this to us? So it is not just untenable, it is incurable, Holness explained. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.